are you aware that a state in the United States of America has just banned social media for children who are below the age of 14? Okay, now for us in Nigeria, this will resonate a lot because all of our children, almost all of them, have phones, except you don't have children. Even their homeworks, their home assignments now is based on the use of your cell phone. I can tell you, I have children who go to school, and I know that my phone does not rest. Okay, because they're doing one assignment or the other, and it's on the phone. So how do we actually look at this issue? So basically today on the show, we'll be looking at the effects of technology on a child's development, because it's quite key at this moment. So the governor of a state in the United States, Florida, precisely, all right, his name is Ron DeSantis. He signed a bill on Monday this week that will prohibit children who are younger than 14 from joining social media in that state. According to the report, those who are 14 or 15 will need a parent's consent before they join any platform on social media. Now, the bill, which is called HB3, also directs social media companies to delete existing accounts of those who are under the age of 14. Companies that fail to do so could be sued on behalf of the child who creates an account on the platform. All right, so is that serious? The minor could be awarded up to $10,000 in charges, damages, according to the bill. All right, so if you are a social media platform and you do not delete the account of a child who is below the age of 14 and all that, you could be sued, not by the child, but on behalf of the child, and it will be awarded to the child, all right, to the tune of $10,000 in damages. Now, companies who are found in violation of the law would also be liable for up to $50,000 per violation, as well as attorney's fees and costs. All right, you'll be paying all of the legal fees. Now, ultimately, according to the governor of Florida, he says that they are trying to help parents to navigate this very difficult terrain that we have now with raising kids, and so I appreciate the work that's being put in. All right, now this bill is called the HB3. Is slated to take effect starting from January 2025, and is coming as effort to regulate social media, as there are cries and calls across the United States, you know, from parents who are concerned that a lot of social media platforms don't do enough to keep their kids safe online. All right, of course, we have heard stories where children, you know, play games on some social media platforms, and it has actually led to them doing disastrous things, not just to themselves but to others. In fact, some have gone on to even take their own lives, you know, and yes, on the order of, you know, someone saying, I don't want to call them people, maybe forces or influences on social media. So this is a very serious thing that we're discussing today. So we're looking at the effects of technology on a child's development, because we are in an age of technology. Literally everything has been taken over by technology. In some places now, robots are beginning to even take the place of humans in performing some services. And also artificial intelligence, that is the new thing. Nigerians are even beginning to explore that, you know, to its highest potential. So a child being online is a serious thing, which is why we have to have this conversation. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go into this conversation. First of all, banning social media for these children who are under 14, do you think is even a good thing? Let's start from there first. Let me start with you, Mr. Biola.
Honestly, to me, it's a good thing.
It is.
And when I heard the story, I said, this is America, where the system works. What happens in Nigeria, where a parent is not even educated enough to know what is happening, and you see these kids as young as in secondary school using iPhone, you know, And I always say jokingly, I said, this woman at the street selling pepper has not gone to school, but she has vowed she's going to send her kids to school. And so these kids are exposed without restriction. In general, the use of technology can cause social or behavioral problems in children. Because what? It limits the amount of time they have to spend to interact with others. Just yesterday, I was with some people and I was telling them, I said, children these days don't play. Our time, I remember me, Tomboya, we roll tire, like from here to Maryland. Like a boy, you can imagine. You roll tire, we do suwe, we do tente, but these days they are on the screen.
How they used to come and look for us, you know, like we've gone to play in like the 3rd Street, and when my mother would see us coming, she would say, Jesus Christ, like she can't recognize us.
We look like somebody coming from a slum.
Sand from head to toe, you know, like, but these days, children don't really play. It's true.
So you understand?
It's true.
And even here right now, like the picture we saw, a little kid, an infant that is less than 2. What is 2? Less than 6 months knows the difference between a dummy phone and a live phone.
An actual phone.
And you give them, and they look at it, and they start shouting. But once it's a live phone, they know it. And then sometimes we just give it to them to let us rest. But we're actually damaging a lot.
Wow.
So it's very expedient for us to monitor the social media use of these children. Not only because of their social or behavioral pattern, even for their health. And a lot of the other day I was saying, I say kids get depressed. And somebody say, how? I said sometimes they are secluded, they are alone, they are on their system, laptop, they even have iPad, you know, all that. Not even for school work now. I saw a parent who bought iPad and recharged data for, not for school work. I said, this girl is exposed to a lot unrestricted. And then you start seeing behavior pattern that is strange. Sometimes they look so, they become so anxious, aggressive, and you're wondering where did they pick this from. I support that state. I wish it can work here. But unfortunately, we don't even have a working system. We don't. Even in your home now, operating your TV system or whatever, you discover that your little child can do it more than you who bought it. Just give them in a jiffy, they will tell you, Mommy, no, this is not. A girl that is less than 2 know how to go to YouTube by herself and start watching her own kind of cartoon. So it's necessary for there to be a check. If we can't, they can't do a ban here, but at least there should be parental control in which parents monitor the social media use of their children, get to know the kind of website they visit and the kind of online game they play.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Obu. We'll come back and look a bit more at these, you know, behaviors that you have talked about. Now, Mr. Malik, as much as, you know, we talk glowingly about technology and how it has come, you know, to make life easier for all of us, we also must look at, you know, the flip side of it, you know, and how it impacts negatively, especially on children. As an IT expert yourself, you know, what are these things that you think technology has brought, you know, that could actually be harmful to children?
Thank you. This discussion is actually endless. It's so mind-blowing that if you take one area of life, you could have unlimited discussion on this matter. Let me just start from where one of the points you raised. Definitely, it's a good policy. It's something that I think the whole world should adopt, if you ask me, because it's going to help the parents, especially for the parents that are not so informed about the use of technology. Understand? Oh, I want my child to be the best in education, and you are supporting the child with everything
they ask for.
We have assignment on the system.
Yes.
You are buying this, you are bringing better, you are bringing, and you are giving the child all the support. But unknown to you, apart from the fact that that has a side effect, the child is exposed to some things that he or she should not have access to, and you are not aware. Okay, so that policy should really, really go round, so that it can help a lot of parents to, you know, bring balance to this aspect. One thing that is certain is that this technology is designed with a lot of insights to make it user-friendly. So when it becomes very friendly, it becomes easy and exciting for the children to get engaged. That is why when you say a less than 2-year-old know a dummy phone to a real phone, because it is friendly. So they know what is friendly to them, exciting to them, where to go to. I mean, there was an advert for, I think, a 3-year-old boy. They gave him a ball, look at it, throw it away. Gave him another toy, look at it, throw it away. Until an iPad was given to the boy.
He smiled.
He didn't ask for the password though. Just
And he went,
on and on, it was on it. So you can imagine. So the physical aspect is there. The health is there. You know, social, emotional, and otherwise is also affected. Okay? Because when you sit down for so long, no physical activities, it will tell on your health at the long run. You understand?
Exactly.
But what is the overall look at this issue for me? Is the fact that we are in a season of our existence where we are moving and changing in a form of century change. Former century has different issues that were changed to what we have today. There's a century change, if there's a word like that, that is bringing so much effect that if we don't look at it holistically from that view, we have so much negative effects before we arrive at that point. Some of my friends went to China recently, and for 1-2 weeks, they did not see the physical currency of that country to do buy and sell, and they were actually buying and selling.
And they were buying and selling.
They enter a taxi that is self-driven, no taxi driver. It is not.
That's the age we are in.
It is not the future.
No, we are in there already.
Right now.
Yeah.
So when you say that technology has a side effect, we agree. But if we don't have our children well equipped to that world that they are coming into, that is going to unfold to us
to
right
be able
now,
to function in this
to
world,
function right,
they
will be backward. They will be behind the entire
so
civilization.
really we are at a crossroads.
We are at a crossroads, that
really,
has so much side effect. And unless we look at it that way, we will not be able to bring policies and things that will make us manage it well. Because you can't deny these children this technology.
I think
you wonder why a child you born today is so engrossed into it. Didn't you get it from us?
it's the age we are in.
You understand? So somehow they got it from us. Because the moment you are also doing that,
They will.
from birth they might get some
From the womb.
Of course, it comes from the set of the brain set. You know, it gets in there.
Yeah.
So there's so much in there that we need to really bring balance into. This policy is one of it, and I think it should go beyond this, because every social media platform company should have a way to relegate this and to put a balance.
So there's got to be regulation. That's what you're saying.
The good thing is they are not. It's not that the technology is bad, but they just come to the realization that early exposure to those kids is affecting them. Yes.
Because you have a child listen to so many voices
At the same time,
the Bible says train up your child.
in the way it should go.
By the time he's listening to so many voices, which one is he going to obey? Which one will she recognize to be the truth?
The true voice.
You understand? Which one will she follow to say, oh, this is the right path?
Okay.
Even if it's not the perfect path that you want your child to go through, at least an image of you, of yourself, of you believe and understanding you have, should emanate from that child as much as you want to groom that child. But when there is unlimited voices, then the child will be
and
in
they're
crisis.
exposed to so many false information.
That's what I'm saying. That's it.
So if the balance is the key, expose them to it. Because a lot of things, they even ask some things now. I remember one of my godchildren was asking someone, say, give me a hug, give me a cuddle. And she was differentiating between a hug and a cuddle. And the auntie was telling the dad that me and you, when we don't know anything will be cuddle. I said, they are exposed. It's good. But parents have to be conscious on the control. And good enough, there are apps.
No, there are a lot of.
There are apps. But my worry is, the percentage of those who know about this control to those who don't even have an idea of what is happening.
Yeah.
I still know people. Somebody was telling me the other day that Zoom, I said I have Zoom meeting. He said that's occultic. That is, are you a politician? I said Zoom meeting, Zoom. This person I'm talking of is not in the village. Oh. He doesn't have Android. I said I have a Zoom meeting, and it was like, the person just said, Zoom meeting, are you a politician? But I said, no, Zoom meeting. So I now discover explaining is even, you can imagine such a father. So that is my worry. If they can put it in place, and these kids that, you know, even from the child, I remember those days when you have a little baby, 2 weeks the eyes is still closed. They'll still be using napkin to clean. But at least I've been able to witness the birth of it. Once they come out, the eyes like, okay, where am I? They are beginning to browse.
Looking around.
Seriously.
And they can see and pick sound immediately because
Immediately.
in child psychology, from the womb, they are accustomed to the sound they hear in pregnancy.
Exactly.
And all that. I
So when they come out, they already know.
On Sunday, snapping the dad. And now everybody was wondering. I said, no. I said, she knew this from the womb because the mother is a photo person. I said, so she's used to it. She knows each time you are photoshopping and then you are doing everything.
Exactly.
And this child is just going to do it naturally. So because the damage this is causing. Last week, a lady wrote that she got into this lesbianism by watching some stuff on the net. She's been watching from age 13. So she didn't know the damage has been done to her, and she's all this masturbation and all that. She's now 36 and a big problem. And but the good one for us is she could trace at what point did this start. You know, you see some kids, this kid, they are doing homework, the phone is inside the book. Once the parent is coming, they flip over and you be say, oh, she's busy, she's doing. Once you move again, they turn it over, they are there. So there must be this consciousness of parents.
So in addition to that,
Yes.
I think apart from the general policies and government intervention, for every parent that want their child to use a phone, either for assignment, tech development, tech skills, for a start, let the child use your phone.
Yes, not buying a phone.
You understand? So when he or she has finished, you can go back and look at
Check the history,
of wherever the child has entered.
That is it.
You understand? Because one day I was opportune to pick up a child's phone, and she said she just looked at something for assignment, and I looked at the phone. I collected myself, checked some data. I'm like, huh? You said what?
Yeah.
I didn't say anything. I just told the parents.
See waiting your opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. So I hear you. So I mean, one thing I've picked so far is parents have to, rise up to the occasion.
That is it.
All right. So you don't just give them a phone, and you are not, first of all, monitoring what they're doing with it. Second of all, you, the parent, also, you need to be on top of your game to also know, trends, because this is what will keep you on your toes, around your children, for you to be able to effectively monitor what they're doing. All right, and like you mentioned, really, a lot of parents are quite ignorant themselves. So the children are ahead, like if your child picks your phone, they will use your phone better than you, the owner. There are a lot of apps on my phone and stuff like that I don't even know exists to even start with, but my son will pick it up and then I'll be like, what are you doing? I'll be like, this thing is on your phone now. I'll be like, how? Like they are that intelligent. Having said that, I remember when I first gave my daughter a phone, I made sure that I put parent link on that phone because she was below 16 at the time. So what that does is immediately she wants to download anything or go on a site, I get a notification on my own phone immediately. Juanita is about to download this app, and they ask for parental consent. So I'll call her and I said, hey, madam, what do you want to download this app for? And she'll be like, mommy, how do you know? I said, I'm a witch. So it was a joke for me and her for a long time until she knew that, I put parent link on her phone. And she's like, mommy, when are you going to take this off? I said, you are not 16 yet. Okay. Don't even ask me. When I choose to, trust me, till tomorrow is still there. All right, so
I also want to believe, I don't mind if parents can give, like he said, give them access to your phone.
Your
for
own
homework.
phone.
But you don't show that you're being wealthy by buying phone for a
Thank you.
minor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very
And then
true.
what
It
type
doesn't
of
show
phone?
what type of phone.
How do you give a 13-year-old an iPhone 14?
And
Like, what do you want
and
them
it's
to do
in-
with
in
that?
school. Do you understand? It doesn't
That's
show
too much.
affluence. You are damaging a lot.
A lot. Let
So
me give
let them have access to your phone
First.
or gadgets. Because even when we're talking of tech, sir, what about the electronic media, television that they watch? Oh, all in the name of cartoon. Recently, we've had cases where adult films have been introduced into
Yes.
cartoons.
Yes. Yes.
And so even the normal TV, you even on the remote, there is parental control.
Yeah.
And sometimes because you don't want them to say, go to your room, and they say, what is it? He's watching cartoon, and you don't even know the kind
What
of
kind of cartoon?
they are watching. The game. Some have learned violence from there. The use of words, that hostile words that you will never even imagine in your life. And then sometimes you scold your child and they revolt, and you are wondering from
Where
where
did they learn that?
they're exposed to this.
Yeah.
And then you go to work, they are there, you feel the only way you can entertain them is let them watch this. So some of these things, and the kind of game. A friend of mine lost her husband, and then we went to visit, and she said around 1 a.m. she heard her son communicating in the night. She was like, with who? He now tiptoed to his room and saw that he was playing game with someone in Australia.
Yeah.
Live game,
Yeah.
and then they were talking and all that. So parents should wake up. This is not the time, because we are in an age, another age we are in now, IT age. Whether you're a pepper seller, you're a tomato seller, you're a ugu seller, whatever, you have to learn a bit
About
of technology.
Let me
Thank
give
you.
a flip to the aspect
Please
you said
do.
about the parental control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To tell you how much these children really get creative with this device. A parent didn't buy a phone for her children. Put security lock on the phone. Now added fingerprint.
Okay.
Added face lock. When the mother is
Sleeping.
or the father is sleeping,
They brought the phone. Yes.
phone unlocked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or fingerprint, you
They
put your
will
hand.
Put your,
Yes.
yeah.
The man was wondering, how are these children using my phone when I'm not there? To tell you that this guy,
They are smart.
They
they are
are very
getting,
smart.
you know, and this also exposed both you and them to also some insecurity online.
Yes.
Because when they are able to do that, some transactions can come up and they can respond to it. I mean, they send me a message. I mean, those hackers called me that there's a Zoom meeting. They send me a link. I said, okay, I will look at it. By the time I put my phone down, there's something on my screen that says click yes or no.
And if you just by
The moment you
mistake,
click,
Yes,
okay,
that's it.
you're gone. You're
phone is
gone.
gone.
That's it. Yeah.
when I look at it carefully, I cancel immediately. I wish I had time to even screenshot to use it to help others.
That's because
I had
you
to
even
cancel
know.
immediately
yeah.
because I know
Yeah.
even people that knew
Do you know sometimes?
we are not cautious of that
and
thing.
it's so swift.
So sweet.
Your hand
Yeah.
can just
Just
touch
it.
it, and then
It's just
that's
a
how-
click.
It's gone.
It's a click.
Just a click.
It's gone.
So
All right,
if-
so I want to mention something quickly before I forget. Sorry, I'm interjected. There's also an aspect that a lot of parents are sort of like overlooking. I have overlooked too until recently. I started thinking to myself, and I'm like, look, what this technology thing is doing to our children is it's not making them grounded.
Yeah.
They are not rooted. I don't know which other
No
English
in-depth.
word. They are not deep.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like what? The intelligence and everything they know is superficial, as far as I'm concerned. Like because everything is now based on Google and even
Anything.
their assignments and all that. When you ask some of them,
They are not
12 plus 17. It's like you've thrown them off.
Off.
Yeah.
it's like Google it.
They are thrown off. Like back in the days,
it's a-
you do your maths assignment. They'll give you a rough sheet of
You
paper.
do it.
They don't know how to calculate.
They
Have you
don't.
noticed
They
that?
don't.
They don't know. They don't really know the in-depth of things. Everything is superficial
That is
on
it.
that
You
Google
can easily
level.
pick it.
Yes, they are
Even
not
with the
rooted.
coming of
that's,
AI
that's
now,
another
where
observation
anything-
Please,
I've had. Yes.
I was almost going to say I might want to disagree.
Disagree?
with
Okay.
you.
Okay.
That's fine.
Because to an extent, the knowledge base or the information available is so wide. The knowledge base right now is moving up beyond that which is probably the basic and the foundation. So we want to leave the basic to technology and things that are familiar. I want to dig deep into the AI, the things that we don't know. You understand? So if you say, which is actually very true, and you know, enough trouble that we are having, but there's a level where you want to, you know, leave back the basic one and think deeply,
futuristically,
you know, futuristically to possibilities.
Wow.
You understand? So I could agree to understand that you might want to limit how much you want to, you know, put them grounded into things that are basic and foundational, which is very important, because without a foundation, nothing can stand. You understand? But also there's an aspect of that that we want to deep into the future. We don't want to flog our brain with things that can be on
with
the
too
device.
much traditional things. Okay.
With things that can easily be on a device.
But those are also very important.
No, they are foundations that you cannot really remove.
Okay.
But there might be a more demand in putting more attention into things that have not been discovered. You understand? So let's have a possibility where the basic information are available on demand on things like your device.
Okay.
You understand?
I get
but not necessarily that you should not have them inbuilt.
I think from what she's saying, I understand what she's saying. Because even now, we too, we are still learning. We have a whole lot in our hands. You read about your profession, things you don't know. We take CPD courses to upgrade and
yourself,
upskill.
Yeah.
But like I used to tell my husband, I said, what we have these days, we're raising more of broiler children.
True.
Agreed.
True.
No perseverance. They don't have that tenacity to push too long. That's why you see somebody who failed a course and is committing suicide.
Yeah.
And then you're wondering how many times did somebody write jam 4 times before he passed? And there's this perseverance.
Yeah.
You can't give up.
There are things
That's exactly what I'm talking about. They are not grounded.
They are not grounded.
It's true.
And
It's true.
one of the things that is working against them is we have parents these days who takes those burden off the children. You hear a mother say, I don't suffer, my pikin no go suffer. And some of what she calls suffering are the things that are built
that toughened us up.
That built us
you.
that we can face any circumstance and you still don't lose your mental health.
Please, for purposes of clarity, we are not saying you should put a tray on your child to go and hawk in traffic.
No.
That's not the kind
What we are saying is
we're talking about.
Like when I preach on parenting and naming ceremonies, that's what I call. I said, teach children to know that adversity is part of life.
Teach them about life.
There are times when life doesn't smile at you, but you keep going.
Yeah.
These things don't come in school days. It has to be from childhood. That is why a child doesn't ask for bobo and you ask for something and you keep giving. Sometimes you deliberately deny them. You're teaching them how to wait.
Until the child will ask for musholosha.
Yes.
And you can't buy it.
And you can't. Then you interpret it as you hate them or you no longer love them.
Exactly.
And then they look for it outside, and that is, and because they're exposed to a lot of misrepresentation on the social media and on the tech, they just tell you, you know, your child asks you for something and you deny, say, Mommy, you don't love me. That is it. So I think like children, and it's from home. That charity begins at home. But fortunately, we have parenting who have not been parented.
Exactly. Thank you so much, everyone. All right, so in essence, what we're saying is, as much as we all know that we are in the technology age, still there are some fundamental things, you know, that needs to be imbued into a child, you know, for that child to be whole. That's what we're saying. For a child to be grounded, it is necessary. And one thing I've also discovered is there are times when you actually withdraw these gadgets from them. Don't let them have it, you know, from sun up to sundown. They can't just, you know, just have access to gadgets.
They are off. Even the TV.
School days in my house, the TV is off.
Yes.
All right. Even myself, I deny myself of watching TV. Yes, I deny myself of watching TV so that they know. Do you understand? You go to bed early because there's school tomorrow. But then on a Friday, for instance, like tomorrow is a holiday anyways, there's no school. Fine, you can watch TV after you've done your chores. After you've done your chores. Housework. Yes, after you've done your housework. Yes, so you don't just give them those gadgets and just let them.
Talking about what you said, I remember my former landlord said the brother is married to a white and they visited the UK and they saw that the little girl wasn't coming to the living room and he said, no, I have a time, I have to watch the TV. So she was like, no, so time I can't come out. So they have time for them to watch. Structure. And you must be the model
Exactly.
Because if you are doing what you say they should not do, you are injustice. And then how do you explain to them that it's good for me but it's not good for you?
Because I'm the mommy.
You have to be an example
for them.
Follow.
Yeah. All right. You know, like Mr. Malik said at the beginning, this is a very, it's an endless conversation. All right. So from time to time, we'll still find time to delve into it. All right. Because it is something we need to continue talking about. So our takeaways from today's conversation is the fact that is technology needed for today's children? Yes, it is. Otherwise, they will not be able to compete on the global field, you know, like their peers, because that's where the whole world is moving to now, okay? So, but there's got to be control. There's got to be regulation. There's got to be monitoring. That's what we're saying. At a certain age, you know, you expose them to it bit by bit. Also put restrictions on certain things, you know, that you can, all right? And always check in on them. Check up on what they are doing. Don't just leave them and assume, you know, they should know what. No, they do not know. Really, the kids of nowadays, they are not like us. We will be native chicken.
And
like
they are very manipulative.
They are
very
manipulative.
Smart they are.
Yeah. These days. I call them computer children.
So you've got to be on top of your game too,
yes,
as a mother, as a father, especially if you find yourself as a single parent, then it's even double effort you've got to put in. But then put in the work so that at the end of the day, you two can have peace of mind. That's what we're saying. Okay, so in the state of Florida, starting from January 2025, kids below the age of 14 cannot have access. It's far away, yeah? Below the age of, like 2025, you mean?
Yes.
Like it should be like immediate.
I was thinking it's going to happen like April 1st.
Of course, you know how they are. They have to give you time, you know, to walk around that. Okay. But we also need those kind of regulations in Nigeria. In fact, if you ask me, it's not only children that need regulation. Even adults that you would think we have sense. I'm telling you the truth. Just because you have a phone, you just start
a child
misbehaving
on pornography on the father's phone.
That's another problem.
You know, even some adults need regulation.
So when you say you wish that system can work here, believe me, it can.
It can.
Because it's just a policy you need to adopt and detect people who follow suit.
Exactly.
No, it can work.
Okay. All right. So that's about it for